but that's all they know. So you're serious, you're going to have to disregard all that. It's going to have to start with you. See, that's what it did with me. I looked at wealthy people, and I said, all right, I'm going to start studying prosperity. So I started reading The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder, Prosperity by Charles Fillmore, started going to church, started reading books like The Magic of Thinking Big, Think and Grow Rich, all of those things, As a Man Thinketh. Started programming my mind with that. And I looked at how wealthy people became wealthy. And two things I really boiled it down to, and I think they're the essence of this business of network marketing. Number one, prosperity principle number one that you got to do is, number one, you got to be your own boss. You will never get wealthy working for anyone else. If you have a job, they're going to buy you at wholesale and they're going to sell you at retail. That's just the way it has to work, because they have to make money too. The corporation, the dry cleaner, the restaurant, whatever the entity is that hires you has to make a profit on you. They have to buy you at $18,000 a year and sell you at $36,000 a year. So, you know, 1 in a million, they're going to get a job and they're going to get wealthy. But 1 in a million, you got a better shot of hitting the lotto than you got of getting wealthy working for someone else. So that was principle number one. You need to be your own boss. And in this business, you will be your own boss. But you'll be your own boss with the support of a multi-million-dollar corporation behind you, and all the training, expertise, guidance of all your entire sponsorship line, every single one of which has a vested interest in helping you build your business. But you're still your own boss. But that's not enough. See, I became my own boss. You know, I told you, I started as a dishwasher. I worked hard, they made me a cook. I worked harder, they made me a waiter. Then I became a manager trainee. So I got a new dream, Marlene. My dream was to become a restaurant manager. Okay? Well, hey, coming from where I came from, that was a big dream, Dan. I thought, I'll be wearing a tie. Go around with the coffee pot. Hi, how's your dinner this evening? Everything okay? I mean, what more could you ask for this? This was the big time. Until I got it. Then let me tell you what that turned into. That turns into becoming a good manager. Wanting to make good money, make good profit, do a good job for the chain. So I'd get raises, get promoted. So I did that. And you know what they said? We got another store. They're losing money. We need to send you over there. So I went to the other store and I turned that around. They started making money. I said, Randy, we're going to make you the problem store manager. We're going to send you, we got a store losing money, we're going to send you there. And that's what they did. I'd go to a store, turn it around, put it in the black, and they'd send me the next store. In 5 years, I lived in 18 cities. So you can imagine I had a wonderful life with lots of close friends and social life. Talking about raising a family, I couldn't raise a house plant with the schedule that I had. So here I go, I got all these, you know, they kept giving me, you know, little raises here and there and stuff. But you know what? I still wasn't wealthy. I still didn't own my own life. So I said, I know the problem. The problem is I need to own my own restaurant. That's the American dream. So that's what I did. I worked hard. Yeah, you figured it out. That's where the $55,000 in debt came from. Oh, she's a smart one. Yeah, that's right. I saved up, work. I didn't have enough money, but me and my partner, we bootstrapped it as best we could, bought a place, leveraged this, got credit for that, worked hard, worked 20 hours a day. So I went from working 20 hours a day, working for someone, to working 24 hours a day for my employees, my vendors, and the government. Until finally the IRS came in and seized my business when I was 30 years old because I couldn't pay the taxes. And started all over again. So let me tell you a secret. Being your own boss isn't just enough. Because if it's a traditional small business in this country, you don't own the business owns you. I have a friend, a guy, as a matter of fact, who was my partner in the first pizzeria I did. I saw him a few years ago. He had just opened a brand new yogurt store built in a shopping mall, you know, with all new equipment. He had about $80,000 in there with all the equipment and this tile floor and everything. And he said, Randy, just come in and I'll give you half of it. Just be my partner. Help me run the place, and I'll give you 50% of it. I said, Michael, there ain't a chance in this world that I would take half of this store for free. Because, see, if I did take half of that store for free, I know that I'd be the one the police call at 3:30 a.m. when the alarm is going off. I'd be the one that the employees would call at 6:30 in the morning because they're going to be sick that day or they got a flat tire going in, and I didn't want that stuff. A traditional business in this country, you don't own the business owns you. You don't believe me? You got subways out here? Of course you do. You got subways. I was in Sydney Australia, they got subways there. I was in Slovenia. Everywhere I go, they got subways. Let me tell you what it's like in Miami. I got my little house, my condo where I live in. I can go, within 5 minutes, I can probably get to 7 different subways within 5 minutes of where I live. And 9 times out of 10, you can go in one, and this isn't just so, I'm not picking on them, but most of these franchises, which you need 30, 50, 80, 100, 250,000. You buy a McDonald's, you need about $1 million to buy that. But the truth is, those people who buy franchises usually make a profit. It's a safer way to make a business. I also know, however, if I go into the average franchise in the daytime hours from 9 to 5, chances are very good that when I walk in, the owner will be behind the counter saying, "Yes, can I be to help you, please?" And what will he or she have done? They will have paid $30, $50, $80, $150, $250,000 to buy themselves a minimum wage job. Which is what I did when I owned my business, because I made less than my cooks did. And you know what? They went home after 40 hours. I didn't go home after 80 hours. I was still there. The thing with franchises, see, I would have been much better if I would have bought a Pizza Hut franchise instead of opening my own pizzeria. But see, I didn't have the money for a Pizza Hut franchise. The other thing you can do to be successful, of course, you can have your money work for you. They say, but see, like stocks, if you go to a stockbroker, they say, if you don't have $25,000 cash money that you can afford to lose, then don't buy stocks. Well, I didn't have $25,000 I could afford to lose. I didn't have $25 I could afford to lose. See, so what we've got here is an opportunity where you can go into business, be your own boss, and you don't need a big investment. You can do this with a few $100s, up to $1,000. You don't need more than $1,000. Usually $300 to $1,000 you're in business. And you can do it in stages, like I had to do. I didn't have $1,000 when I came in. I had to borrow the $300 to get started. But I got started, and I did it in stages. So that's prosperity principle number 1. And prosperity principle number 2, and this is big, is you've got to put the concept of leverage to work for you. Because, see, everything else, working jobs, owning a traditional small business, all those other things, they have one fatal flaw. They're all part of the trading time for money trap. You work 8 hours, you get paid for 8 hours. You're sick for half a day, you get paid for 4 hours. You're sick for a whole day, you get paid for 0 hours. If you're not there working, it's linear income. If you're not there doing the job, you don't get paid. What we can do in this business is we got leverage. So you start in the business and you find 5 key people. And you work with the 5 and you teach them a duplicatable system. You teach them how to follow the same process. And they each worked with 5, you'd have 25 on the second level, wouldn't you? So you'd have 30 people. Now, we know it doesn't work out exactly this way. Some do more, some do less. But just so you see the concept of it. Because if the 5 who got 5, the 25, if they worked with just 3 people each, there'd be 75 more people, weren't they? If they worked with 3 each, then you'd have 225. And you see the organization grows that way, getting wider and wider as it goes deeper and deeper. And again, it won't work out exactly 525, 125, 625, all that, but you will see leverage. So you might have someone who gets in the business, starts with 3 or 4 key people, and 6 months into the business, they have 87 people in their group. And if everybody just produced a volume of, let's say, $100 a month, 87 people, they'd have $8,700 they'd get paid on. Let's suppose a year down the road, there was 200 people in the group. If everybody just produced a volume of $100 a month, 200 people times $100 is what, $20,000 you'd get paid on. So you see, you get paid leverage, which is what J. Paul Getty, one of the wealthiest men the world has ever known, he understood this when he said, I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts. This network marketing thing, it's amazing, but I got to tell you, it won't mean anything if you don't get in touch with your dreams.